assembled dignitaries and my colleagues, it's a pleasure again to talk about this initiative and to think about it. I think Dr. Mashelkar said something very, very vital. And that is, this portal, if it has to work, it has to be much more than a website and do more than what Google does. And to just illustrate a couple of things, in addition to what he said, I can suggest a couple of things I can see happening quite easily. I mean, I myself was part of the Indian diaspora working abroad for 90% of my academic life. And now I'm back here on the other side of the fence in my own country trying to lead some initiatives here. And so I've left part of my life all over the world. And as Dr. Mashelkar said, you can't take India out of Indians, even if they're out there. There are so many people out there, and there are hundreds and thousands of them, millions of them, who have skills, and they want to share their skills, even if they can't physically work with us. And the connectivity that we have here provides a very good way of utilizing those skills very, very efficiently. And for example, I mean, I'll just give an example of what just happened in the last hour. You know that as part of IUCAA, we are now leading the establishment of one of the biggest scientific facilities that will happen, LIGO, the Gravitational Wave Observatory in India, and actually, as you know, will be set up in Maharashtra, in Hingoli. But as part of this gravitational wave network that we have, things have to happen very fast. The discoveries are now happening very, very fast. You remember when the first discovery happened, led to a Nobel Prize, you know, in the first year we had 2 discoveries, and that was big. Now we are having discoveries almost every week, sometimes many in the same day. And they have to be networked very fast, because when we discover an event like that in the sky, we need all the other telescopes in the world to look at it at the same time to see whether they can identify it. So while I was sitting here on the stage, one discovery happened. I have an app on my phone, and it actually told me that discovery has happened. And within the last 45 minutes, I can see on the app that at least 300 telescopes have responded on that app, working very fast all over the world. They are saying that, you know, things that has been localized and many people are looking at it. All that is happening all together and through the mobile phone, through the internet, being networked. And that provides a model of how one can network between multiple communities. And within this community, some of them are radio astronomers, some of them are optical astronomers, some of them are space scientists, some of them are theorists, mathematicians. They're all connected by one app on my phone, right? And I can see what's happening and I can contribute at any time. Sitting here, I can just message people within the same app. So that is the power of this connectivity. Now, I understand that within our remit here, we don't need such urgency. That is not what we want, but this is an illustrative point of the power of this connectivity. The other thing, as Dr. Mashelkar mentioned, I wanted to elaborate a little because we work on such things quite a lot, and that's citizen science. Citizen science provides a model now of not just in science, but in history and sociology, of this using the power of the people, power of the minds that are active, they want to do something. So as an astronomical example, what we did was, for example, there are many, many great examples of, we have now lots and lots of observations of stars through a telescope. But if you repeated observation of stars, if there are planets around them, you can see little eclipses. But there are millions of such time series of light, right? And there are no scientists, I mean, there are not enough scientists to look at them to see whether there are eclipses or whatever. So what we've done now is put them all on the web, essentially as a citizen science program. And school children all over the world, people sitting in the house while they're making their dinner, are looking at them and trying to see whether they can see these eclipses. And out of that, many, dozens of planets have been discovered. They're discovered by non-scientists who've been given some training. Now, citizen science does that. I'm giving an example of planets. A great example is, through the millions of letters that have been digitized now, of letters written by Second World War soldiers sent back to their respective countries in Europe. They're now trying to connect them to actually find out details of historical events. Now, there are not enough historians who can look through these letters, but they are now all in a citizen science program out there. And people sitting in their living rooms instead of watching television are reading through these letters. And when they find connections, they are marking them on the web. So we can do this. There is so much documentation that we have of the history of Indian science, for example, and the knowledge we have about our traditional medicine, our traditional records of scientific events, scientific thoughts. One can easily see that we can use the power of people to all over the world if everything is digitized and made available and done in a manner which allows people to interact with each other based on this documentation that's available. Then we can do a lot more than what you can do, than a bunch of academics sitting in universities can do. And I think portals are effective if they can unleash the power of all these people put together. Then 1 + 1 becomes 11, not 1 + 1 = 2. That's the whole point. And I think online mentoring of people who are time zones apart from each other through such portals can also be very, very important. The young people are far more savvy with social media and web devices than the older people, and these can connect generations through this, in which knowledge and advice can be transferred to the younger people who are coming into knowledge-based systems as we have now. So I think this has enormous promise if we can actually do this, and I'm very happy to see our colleagues in the US establishing local bases where this can happen. I'm just hope that we can get together a system which facilitates this exchange, and this has great promise. Thank you.